Welcome to Slow Home Studio. Too many people live in badly designed houses, and we want to change that.
Today is Wednesday, June 15th, and our design tip today is about tree placement. And for our laneway house design, we had a very large mature deciduous tree in the backyard of our site. And a deciduous tree is a really excellent way to improve the cooling of your house in the summer, and it's a very important design decision.
That's right. A lot of people just think about trees as exterior gardening things that you put there for a hammock or something like that. But actually, they can be used as an effective thermal mechanism in heating and cooling your house.
Yeah, so there's a lot of reasons why tree placement is important. First of all, it is a very cost-effective way to improve the cooling of your house. Even if you have air conditioning, trees can actually cut the cost of the air conditioning down. Obviously, it provides a better environment inside the house because of the cooler temperatures. Plus, there's all the environmental considerations about what a tree does for the environment, the fact that they produce oxygen, they're beautiful to look at, and they really improve the quality of your site.
So there's really two conditions that you need to consider when you're thinking about trees and the interior environment in your house. The first, we're talking about cold climates right now today. The first is in the winter time, you need to have trees as a windbreak, so that you would put them on the normally on the north and west side of the house to try and break that wind so that you can create a microclimate. And then the second is to shade the sun in the summer, both exterior and in the interior of the house.
Yeah, so when you're looking at trees and siting for a house, obviously you like to have the south receive the light because that's the best orientation to receive daylighting. On the west and east, you can place trees to actually help break the daylighting. Another thing that you can think about in terms of tree placement is over top of pavement or hard surfaces.
That's right.
Because the shade that a tree provides will actually reduce the amount of temperature that those hard surfaces absorb and then radiate back.
And the key place, particularly in a cold climate, is the west light. You want to make sure that that low west light does not get into the house because that's where you have a lot of overheating. And so deciduous trees and also coniferous trees can do that. What's also good is in the wintertime, deciduous trees lose their leaves so that then they let the light in when you need it, but keep it out when you don't want to have it.
Absolutely. So when you're placing trees, you have to remember how big they get, and you want to make sure that you plan your tree placement so that it doesn't conflict with any of the services. If you've got overhead power lines, you want to...
Unlike buildings, trees change, and you put them in a small state, and they obviously get really big. You have to be careful that you don't plant one in the wrong place. This here, we've got a house that's almost overly dominated by trees on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and then of course you have to remember that trees, depending on the species, grow to different scales. You always want to figure out what is the maximum height that tree is going to grow when you're figuring out where to plant a tree and which type to use. And then of course you've got to consider the shape of the tree, because if they're columnar in shape, you might need a lot of them, but if they're oval or round, you're not going to need as many to do the job.
That's right. So you can always use a computer program, such as SketchUp or some other three-dimensional modeling program, to see what type of shadow the tree actually casts on your house. You want to make sure that if you're going to be doing this, that you actually place it in a way that it actually casts a shadow on the window so that it reduces solar gain into your house when you need it, and also doesn't do it when you don't need it.
So tomorrow we're going to be reviewing the last of the students' submissions from New York on the laneway house design, so that we hope that you check back and join us tomorrow.
See you then.
If you're interested in learning more about the principles of slow home design, you can pick up a copy of our book entitled What's Wrong with This House? It's a practical guide to finding a well-designed and sustainable home. It's available for sale on the Slow Home Studio website. It's also available for sale at Amazon.com in both paperback and the Kindle format.